And I failed. What's my role in all this now?
Tyr, you're at the center of this. You always have been. That's why Odin imprisoned you in the first place. He's terrified of you.
I doubt that very much.
It's the truth. And not just because of prophecies. No one has ever united the realms as you once did.
That is not who I am anymore.
I know you feel that way now. I've lost myself before. More than once, but believe me, there is something beyond that.
And what is that?
Purpose. Purpose is the path that leads you to yourself.
So you would have me accept my fate? Lead your armies into war, secure your vengeance.
If securing our justice is not your purpose, then find another. For your own sake. When you're ready to seek the Norns, I'm with you. Just taking a moment.
Don't try to talk me into coming. The Norns and their tales of our fates, it's everything I've walked away from.
I knew he'd left something behind.
Does it hurt?
Oh, this? Only when I worry. I'll disinfect my tools. A Vanir crest? Quite the prize.
How would a trace get to Asgard?
I'm sorry, but you'd have to ask Odin. He's got control of every path. I know how highly you esteem our expertise on such things, so I'm sure that's disappointing. He's just been one step ahead of us.
Hang on! I got something for you. Sindri!
Coming!
Before you go traipsing off into the dawn, I thought you'd like to have this back. don't go getting too cheery about it. But you're welcome.
I've collected what we need to find the Norns. Shall we go?
Madam Neathog? Madam Neathog, where have you gone?
Neathog. I suspect we may have consequences to look forward to.
Squirrel.
Ah, Master Kratos, my apologies. Madam Neathog's disappearance weighs heavily on my mind.
She a friend of yours?
Less a friend than another long-time tenant of the tree. She was here even before.
We are certain the trace could not still be in Midgard.
I was just there and found no trace. If Odin invited him, he must have provided a way.
No, that is not the only explanation. Tell me where we find these Norns.
I discovered some of their threads near the frozen lake. I stashed one for spellcrafting, but we may also use it to find them. Just remember, they really don't want to be found.
Well, at least things will be difficult for a change.
We should take your sled and head to the lake.
Midgard. How I've missed the freezing gusts and constant raider attacks.
Well, that's because they believe Kratos is responsible for Fimbulwinter, and that killing him will end it.
Where would they get an idea like that?
From me, of course.
Of course.
Come. Quiet. She is a friend. Now.
Better they get this from you. Once the wolves have the scent of the Norns, we'll just need to follow their lead.
I will open the gate. Stop whining.
Their fur is matted. When did you last brush them?
They are wolves.
And matted fur leads to disease. Take care of them, and they'll take care of you.
Brother, what exactly do you intend to ask the Norns?
How I may find my son. Nothing more.
I don't imagine it's a chance to clear up all this mess about the prophecy. Perhaps get a second opinion on your alleged demise.
You didn't tell me you had a death prophecy.
When Atreus and I reached Jotunheim, we found a hidden mural. The giants, they herself, had foreseen our entire journey long ago. Who we would meet, who we would fight. All of it, as it happened.
But you aren't dead.
That image was from a time yet to come.
I see. You've never struck me as someone who fears death. That's not the problem, is it?
No. Death can have me when it earns me.
Then maybe it's not the future that bothers you. Faye sent you on your journey, and she made sure you'd see that image at the end of it. And you're still not sure why.
I wish to speak of this no further. Now that we are on the lake, how will we find the Norns?
Watch the wolves closely. See how their heads point the way?
Well, the Lake of Nine has certainly seen better days. Raiders have made themselves quite at home.
Hold. The wolves are distracted.
Not sure I've been back to these parts since our great battle with Sigrun.
She speaks highly of that fight as well.
You know of that.
She told me all about it when she found me. She believed you could be an ally. Long before I believed it.
The Valkyrie Queen. An ally.
I'm the Valkyrie Queen, as Sigrun was stubbornly determined to remind me.
I should have guessed it was Sigrun helping you recover yourself. She's so loyal, wise, clever, tall.
Doesn't take a love goddess to see where you're coming from.
This thread of fate we are tracing.
It's not somebody's life, if that's what you mean. The Norns use it to mark their way when they're outside of the well.
The Nords in a well.
No. The Well of Erd, their home, is hard to explain. It's in no fixed place. Entrances come and go. A place wholly under their influence, where the intangible becomes tangible. Like being inside your own mind.
But if we go in together, are we in each other's mind?
The wolves lead us here.
I just hope the Norns are somewhere indoors, and warm. Say, no, I have not missed Midgard and Fimbulwinter. Thank you.
We will see soon enough.
Enemy behind you, Kratos! Enemies on the left! From behind! Incoming!
Watch the fire!
Behind you! Look out!
What good's a shield if you're not going to use it?
The way forward is magically sealed. Something in here is giving it power.
The hilt of a sword.
Brother, I know that sword hilt. Tread carefully. You of all people know how weapons can carry ghosts.
If it does not help us find the Norns, it can wait.
I feel a trace of their illusions here. I can try to dispel it. Open up. There's nothing here.
A false trail.
I'm afraid so. We'll have to see what else the wolves can find.
Typical Nornish mischief.
They know we're searching. I warned you they wouldn't make it easy.
What's the hilt of a cursed king have to do with any of it?
Distraction? Coincidence? Who knows? I suppose they'd say we were fated to find it.
Mimir, have you encountered these Norns?
Hold on. What's this way?
Let us find out.
What did you find?
A list of provisions needed to prepare a meal.
A recipe? Who left that way out here?
Let's take a look at the ingredients. Perhaps the recipe will lead us to them.
Have I encountered the Norns? No. Not personally. Freya's right. They have ways of discouraging visitation.
Wait. Let us look this way.
Ah. I knew I recognized those initials. The Ballad of Yari and Somar.
I'm not familiar.
An old tale, but a good one nonetheless. The carving marks their passage through this realm. We could always try and find the others. Curious.
Did Odin seek the Norns?
Odin made his share of efforts. Wouldn't talk about what he found. Either he gave up, or he wanted to forget what he saw. Freya, you mind telling us what you experienced when you sought the Norns last time?
Old. Prepare for a fight.
You're on fire, Kratos! It will fire! Come on, Kratos! Off your back! Another Draugr hole, You're on fire, Kratos! It will fire! Aye. We fought it at the other Draugr hole, didn't we? Odd.
You were asking about my last visit to the Norns. Mainly, I remember that nothing could be done to change my son's fate, which only made me more determined to try.
Brother, what of your story? You faced the fates of your homeland, yeah? The legends I heard about the ghost of Sparta were surely exaggerated.
Exaggerated?
Oh, not in the brazen bloodshed righteous fury part. The part where it said you travelled back in time itself to win a battle once lost. It's strange credulity, obviously. I mean, a rumour about Thor knocking the world serpent back in history from Ragnarok is one thing.
It is the truth. The threats of fate span all life and time. The Sisters of Fate abused their power. When I challenged them, they threatened to undo my existence. So I killed them and turned their power on Zeus.
That's the most dangerous and irresponsible thing I've ever heard.
Enough. We will continue later.
Are we holding off looking for the Norns? Well, I hope you didn't come seeking the Norns, hoping to travel in time again. These Norns have no such magic, nor does anyone in these realms that I've ever seen.
Hold. Let us search this area.
Just to circle back and close the book on this time travel rubbish.
Later. I would search this way.
Just to circle back and close the book on this time travel rubbish. If it existed, Odin would have it. And if Odin had it, we'd be 5 shades more fucked than we are already.
I would not ask them to change the past, even if they could. I only want information.
And that's quite dangerous enough, in my experience. Freya, there's something I've always wanted to ask. What was it Hrimthur whispered to you?
Who?
Hrimthur, the son of Thormur, the stonemason. He disguised himself and built Asgard's wall.
Oh, yes. One of the many occasions Odin saw fit to involve me in a wager without my consent. I wish I could say that was the worst of his husbandly habits.
What wager?
I've told this story, brother.
And now she may tell her own.
There isn't that much to tell. I knew nothing of it at first, surely because Odin didn't expect to lose the bet.
Hold. We will finish later.
Freya, you were just beginning to tell us the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son, and the wager Odin involved you in.
Yes. All right.
Hold that thought. I think I hear something sizable. Freya, you were just beginning to tell us the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son, and the wager Odin involved you in.
Yes. All right.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
Watch the fire!
Enemy behind
Behind you! Incoming! Suspect that's all of them.
These were coal raiders. Infamous for...
Eating wolves. Atreus and I rescued ours from such an encampment.
That was... kind of you. The coal raiders have been a blight on this land. The way they've abused its creatures. Perhaps we should do something.
Perhaps.
Up to you, brother. If the Norns know the future, no doubt they'll expect us to show up a bit late. There! How was Sigrun when you saw her last?
She's still incorporeal, ever since Kratos set her free of her corrupted form. But she hasn't let that stop her from helping any way she can. The truth is, I owe her more than I can repay.
I doubt she'd see it that way. When we freed her, she could speak. Little else but her reverence for you. And you yourself again. Would surely be payment enough.
Kratos, tell me more of your homeland.
It was violent and cruel.
Sounds no different from these lands.
It was warmer.
Freya, you were just beginning to tell us the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son, and the wager Odin involved you in.
Yes. All right. A mysterious mason had to build the entire wall in 3 turns of the season.
2! It was 2!
And if he was late, he'd be owed nothing. But if he succeeded, he was promised an audience with the queen. Or so I learned one day when Odin burst into our bedchambers, raging and half-drunk before noon, telling me to get dressed and go see what the mason was.
Set that aside for now. Come.
Another gravestone. But this one's intact.
Aye, and with a keyhole tailor-made for the hilt we found. I was afraid of that. Freya, can we return to your story of Hrimthur? You said if he built Asgard's wall in time, he was promised an audience with you.
Yes, and built it he did. So, off I went, not knowing what had truly been promised or expected. Dagger stashed in my robe for emergency. And this mason, this giant in disguise.
His name was Hrimthur.
He just smiled to see me. And as you said, he whispered in my ear.
No more for now. Focus.
I scouted ahead. The lake's crawling with raiders. Be careful.
Thanks for grabbing that for us.
I'll heat up the forge. Till we meet again!
When you want to find the Norns, we'll return to the sun.
Freya, you mentioned that Fimbulwinter had worn down some of Odin's curses, but you still needed help. Was it Sigrun who helped you recover your warrior spirit?
Is that how Odin liked to refer to the curse that kept me from defending myself?
Oh. I suppose that is where I heard it.
Would you like to know how that curse really worked? What it did to me? What it cost me to finally break it?
I'm no longer sure that I do.
That's correct.
Well, Sigrun must have helped find your Valkyrie wings. Were they hidden in the place I guessed?
They were not. But yes, she did. Argued all the while I should let my anger go, but helped me just the same. Time we find the Norns? I'm sure your wolves can get us there. Is that a frozen lightning bolt?
My fight with Thor ended there.
That's where you landed. No wonder there's bits of Tyr's statue all over the lake. Getting back to your story, Freya. You granted an audience to Hrimthur after he finished building Asgard's wall. What at long last did he whisper to you?
Well, he said the... Aesir had killed his father, and he needed to know that one day they'd burn for it.
Enough talk for now. Be ready.
Freya, if we might finish your story? Hrimthur revealed to you he wanted revenge on the Aesir for killing his father.
Yes, he did. I pointed out I was Aesir now too, technically. He gave me a look, as if he somehow knew better and continued. He said he'd built in a structural flaw behind the Asgard Realm Tower.
I knew it! How do we make use of it?
We don't. He said Surtur would know what to do. And if Surtur's approaching Asgard's wall...
It is already Ragnarok.
Aye, blast it. I hoped it might have given us another way. You're on fire, Kratos! It will fire!
Enemies to your left!
Incoming fire!
That is all of them.
Brother, I had a thought. What if we took a stealthy approach to our next battle?
They still whine.
Poor things. They can smell more danger.
The wolves fear that which can no longer hurt them.
The horrors of our past can be inextricable from the present. You have to understand that.
Freya, something your brother said. The Aesir burned him.
Yes. We weren't yet at war, but relations with the Vanir and Aesir had been hostile for ages.
Hold! What is that? Wish for peace. Be ready for war.
Well, that's astute of the elves. Tyr never sought war, but he knew he had to be ready for it.
Aye. Best be armed than not. Impressive looking weapon, isn't it?
It is big.